Hello and welcome to the Thursday show on the Frontline Gaming Network. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri
Hey, everybody.
and Dustin Hinshaw.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the show. This is your weekly show where we run down the biggest and best tournaments going on over the weekend. We have 4 out of the 500 plus person tournaments happening this weekend. We're going to talk about with a special mention to the 5th. There's only so much show and only so much shirt. If you're tuning in live, you can see that we, as promised, we are all gone sleeveless. I guess, I don't know, are we in rocking the Australian style? Is that what
Well,
we're
it's
doing?
it's just starting to get warm here. It's pretty warm today, which is quite nice. But this is a super weekend. I think this is the first true supersized weekend we've had of 40k since 2020 happened. 5 100 plus player events and a 200 player event just to be the cherry on top for this weekend.
Wow.
Absolutely nuts.
Before we get going, let me thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks for welcoming us into your ears and your eyes. Live stream platforms. Please, leave some comments. Talk about the chat. We will react to the chat for playing in any of these mega events. Let us know you're going. Let us know what you are taking. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. No matter where you're listening or when you're listening, if you're finding us on podcast aggregators, please leave us some 5-star reviews. That's ways that other people can find us, help find us as well. I'll stop on that because we got to get going on this. We're going to be talking about SoCal from Frontline Gaming, Stutter Snotling.
Woo!
I think we have an expert in the room to talk
Oh,
about
hell
that.
yeah.
It's obviously
Goon-
me, isn't it?
Obviously, Adam.
Well, I mean, Snotlings. We can be,
True.
we all be experts on the Snotlings.
We got you there.
Goonhammer Open in the UK and the Malmo Wargaming Weekend with a special shout out to the Alliance Open happening over there. Thanks for listening to this show. Again, we'll cover as absolutely much as we can in the time that we have. But we got to start with SoCal.
We do, but what was another thing that was interesting? Yeah, we've got a UK 100 plus player UK event, 100 plus player Alliance Open in Europe, and 100 plus player a major in Sweden. So that's 300 European players, 200 players plus at SoCal, and then 100 players that started slotting. So 300 in Northern America and 300 in Europe, all throwing down on the same days.
And that's just
Like
the tournaments
beautifully.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
There's probably
that's just what we're
thousands
talking
of
about.
people playing Warhammer
Exactly.
40,000 over the course of the weekend. But by the way, tune in. Going to be some live streaming some games for these places too on this network, and we'll give Dustin the opportunity to talk about stuff that he's doing as well. So yeah, big weekend for Warhammer 40,000. If you're wondering if anybody's playing out there, the answer is yes, and we're going to talk about what they're playing.
So kicking it off, SoCal, the flagship of one of the flagships of Frontline Gaming from Del Mar, California, USA. Of course, 222 players, just to make it nice and homogenous for everybody. 9-round majors. This is a traditional LVO-esque throwdown. Cut, 6 games, cut to the top 8 for the last 3 rounds. The super factions go as thus, starting off with the Imperium. 9 Sisters, 8 Custodes, 12 Admech, 5 Astra Militarum, which actually is huge for the guard players out there, 10 Grey Knights, and 8 Imperial Knights. So both Imperial Knights and Astra Militarum, I feel like, are overrepresented in that pool. What do you guys think?
I don't think Grey Knights are overrepresented because look at the weekend they just had last weekend.
That's
I want
true.
to point out that I did call that Mark
Yeah.
Perry and Nick Nanavati would be slugging it out. I thought they were going to slug out in the finals, but they met, due to the nature of pairings before
Yeah.
that. It was a slobber knocker.
So it's a 3 or 4 point win to Nick. It was tight as all tight could be.
Yeah, but then Grey Knights take the top, 4 or 5 slots or whatever.
Last
I mean,
weekend,
I think even obviously dominated by a lot of different Dread Knight combinations is really what it is. But I'm not surprised to see them represented here because I think that Codex has the strength to contend with any list out there.
Beautiful. And it's interesting to see that despite us breaking out Space Marines into their own super faction, still about a quarter of the meta at SoCal is just going to be straight up Imperium. Sisters well represented, Custodes well represented, Knights, Grey Knights, and Admech very well represented. Jump down to the Space Marines though. 10 Dark Angels, 7 Space Wolves, 3 Blood Angels, 1 Ultramarines, 1 Iron Hands, 2 White Scars, 4 Salamanders, 10 Death Watch, putting it up there. Death Watch making parity with Grey Knights for how much people think they're getting momentum at the moment.
Obviously
Big
the amount of players is lifting up this number of Space Marines a little bit, but I'm not surprised to see the Space Wolves, coming out like we've seen with all those tools that they've been bringing out to the thing. But then the Death Watch. Now, Adam, if people can remember back to the beginning of this edition. You typed up Death Watch saying they had to bloom. Is it their time?
Yeah. they're like a fine wine. They needed certain factions to be powerful in
And to
order to
breathe,
activate.
you had to get the little
Yeah,
attachment for them.
exactly. They needed some other stuff to be good to activate certain different levels of their rule set, of their breakdown. I think we're starting to see them activated. We're going to get to the most represented faction in this meta at the bottom of this list, and that will make it very apparent why I think Deathwatch have been the go-to for the Space Marine faction specialists.
Don't ruin it,
But
then. You got to keep going.
I can't get too quick. Chaos Super Faction: 3 Chaos Soup, 3 Chaos Space Marines, 8 T-Suns, 9 Death Guard, 3 Demons, 2 Renegade Knights. So 10 total Knights in attendance, guys. That was 8 Imperium, 2 Renegade. That's like double what I expected.
That's exciting.
Do you guys think is it the player placed gives them more agency? You think?
For Knights?
For the Knights themselves, but yeah, I think it probably does give them the ability. But also, Knights are one of those things to where if you get just a little bit of luck through your pairings, then you just get the benefit of being a Knight.
Yes.
And also, this is
Right.
one of those things you want to bring it to these tournaments to show them off. I bet a lot of these Knights are probably immaculately painted and absolute displays of hobby perfection. I'd love to see some. Can't wait to tune in to see some pictures of the armies there. But in a long tournament where there are many, I know it's a 9-rounder, but
Yeah.
there's also different faction awards to win and that kind of stuff. I think that contributes. I think Knights have the fact that you can endurance wise. Moving them
Yep.
around is a little bit easier than a 100-person tiered list or
Right.
something like that.
And so many people have been locked down or restricted from traveling so long. Maybe you're just coming to SoCal with your family. It's a great family event. Bring your Knights, play 6 casual games, enjoy the time with your mates, enjoy the time with your family afterwards. You're not going to be exhausted with a broke back from moving 100 gaunts or whatever.
And then player place terrain, we can't understate that too,
Exactly.
because if they can kind of line up, wall off certain things or give them the line of fire or line of, I guess, motion that they need to build up to, people could
Spot
be
on.
banking on that.
Xeno Super Faction: 11 Necrons, 13 Orcs, 13.
Still not the most represented,
Tau.
though. Still not the most represented.
Still not the most. And
We're not there yet.
By a bit of a dint, but still that's pretty healthy for both those factions, both Orcs and Necrons. Into the Hive Mind. 1 Mixed Hive Mind, 4 Tyranids, 2 GSC. Now I'm going to be really interested. I'll pass it over to Dustin. 4 Tyranids, as we're seeing at a bit of a baseline, bubbling array. You see a 100-player event, you see 2 or 3 Nids.
Yep.
How much of you think that is going to be, say, 2 or 3 weeks by now? Do you think people are just going to surge back with the Leviathan supplement?
I think a lot of people are going to start surging back with it. It's going to be mostly Tyranid players that are already comfortable with Tyranids. They're going to start realizing, hey, I can start going to tournaments again because I have a lot more tools. The stuff that we're getting from Octarius is elevating us. I know there's a lot of hate from some Tyranid players, and you guys got to get over it because there's juice in there. There is some serious juice.
Tyranid players coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, if you thought XYZ thing was good before, it's going to be better now."
Oh God,
and I believe
insane.
them, and I believe it's going to make an impact.
I personally know a lot of players who played the Dimacheron list when that was a big heavy hitter in the start of 9th edition. It dropped off, it paired off over time, especially when all the minus damage and then Drakari coming into
and the
points
go up.
And then the points went up. But now I think, seriously, that list, that you had, drop the Dimacherons and just fill it up with, some more shooting, some more Gene Stealers, some more bodies, and that list is good to go. It's good to go right now.
That's the big thing with the Arcturius. It's not making anything new, anything old that wasn't good before. It's not making it good, and that's what a lot of people are upset about the Tyranid stuff. But what it did do is made the things that are already good much better.
Exactly.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the next week's tournaments or the week after as that book starts to get in people's hands. So let's jump. I mean, I don't want to shortchange the time of the Hive Mind. I don't want to come.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for that later.
So
let's get down to this next bit here. This is the juice. Noteworthy.
So Eldari Super Faction, 5 Mixed Eldari, 1 Harlequins, 2 Craftworld Eldar, 23 Drakari. 23. So just to break down the podium, 23.
That's 10% of the field is Drakari.
10% of the field is Drakari. Well, just a touch over. But our faction podium reads Drakari, Orcs, Admech. So 23 Drakari, 13 Orcs, 12 Admech. That is absolutely terrifying for a gauntlet to run.
Yeah. This is one of those things where obviously this is a prestigious event. It's a lot of ITC points on the line. People want to win this, and so a lot of people are bringing lists they think are capable of winning that. We know that Drakari, Orcs, and Admech, I believe, are what people believe to be the top tournament armies there. So you've got diehard players, and you've got people that they increase their chances to win. But then you got some percentage of these people and other lists that know what they're bringing to tech against it.
Well, exactly. The 10 Death Watch makes all the sense in the world now.
Yep.
I've got 13 Orc players and 23 Drakari players to run through. Almost a quarter of the damn field is supercharged Xenos. Of course, if I play every Space Marine faction, I'm just going to be like, well, Death Watch for this one, right? Yeah, let's do it.
It makes it so much easier.
It does. So some of the top players in attendance, Sean Naden is currently in attendance here. He's ranked 3rd in the USA, and I think he's 3rd or 4th in the world at the moment. He's running his Drakari really wonky Venom list. It's got the 8 Venoms, Lilith, bunch of 5 or 6 choppy characters, bunch of Racks and Mandrakes, Incubi, etc.
Lilith is uncommon. Yeah, but he normally runs kind of like a scatter, basically seemingly a random assortment, mixed treat bag of things in his list. Give him lots of tools, lots of options.
I always love
one of the interesting. So he's got of course, pure Drakari. He's got triple patrol, strife, and poison tongue, which is his favorite combo. But then he's gone for a custom coven, not a conventional one like Dark Technomancers or the -1 damage, Master of Flesh, whatever it is. He's got enhanced sensory organs and Master Torturers. Now I had to actually look into this because I had no idea what it was. The sensory organs ignores light and heavy cover, and there's 2 of his Venoms are in that detachment, so he's got 2 Venoms that ignore cover. And then -1 CP on the Torturer's Craft stratagem, which is the rerolls to wound strat. Now, I thought as soon as I read that I expected to see 5 or 10 man rack units, but he's only got 2 5-mans. So I was really wondering where the mileage is there, and he's definitely got a plan for it, because on face value, it doesn't seem to be that good a value stratagem anyway. So maybe he's just taking something that he wasn't willing to pay a CP for, but he can make it free, and therefore it's worth it.
We're seeing more and more players go to that custom build inside the codex, which I think early when a codex hits the first time, you don't see it. It's until they start to go deep into the tank and recognize how to adjust to the field that some of these build your own start to come up as really viable, which we've seen a lot in the Eldari in general. Now, it's hard to call this the Eldari super faction when it's completely dominated by the Drakari. Right here, the Drakari have created their own super faction. But what we're seeing in some of these things, even in Space Wolves, Space Marines, Eldari, and I guess now Drakari, kind of looking at these build your own options to maybe give some advantage out there in the field.
Exactly right. Now, what I find really interesting about Sean's list is I believe it's a very well-tailored list to the top of the field. He's actually going to struggle against some of the gatekeeper lists, but him being Sean Naden, he's probably pretty confident he gets past him. I look at this list as a good mirror match list, a very good mirror match list into other Drakari, also extremely, extremely good against Orcs. And one of the things about the Venoms is that, while you say, oh, cool, it's only got 6 wounds, toughness 5, it's all -1 to hit. E.g., all your things you're going to use to try and proc the freebooter things. It's all going through -1 to hit, a decent toughness, and a 5+ invulnerable save. And then essentially turn 1, turn 2, depending if he gets off his Animus Vitae, I can't remember if he's got it or not. He can just run out and tap all your buggies turn 1. Now in combat, buggies will kill warriors, Incubi pretty well. They don't actually kill Venoms very well in combat. It actually takes them a turn or 2, and so he can actually go really well into Orcs, I believe.
Okay.
No, it definitely works well. It works too. I'm pretty sure it's not listed here, but I'm pretty sure he has the relic grenade on the Archon as well. Do you know that?
Yeah, the Animus Vitae.
The Animus Vitae, yeah.
So, charge turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. So his entire army can basically touch you turn 1 and start killing stuff. If he can do an alpha strike that will cripple your army, like against Admech sometimes. Like if you're not in your boxes, you're just going to get run over. Because if that whole army starts charging you, it's a lot of little dinky units. You can only interrupt once.
Yeah. he'll just.
And you're picking up whole models, whole units. Yeah. It can be rough.
But moving on, gentlemen, next top player in attendance is Colin McDade, 6th ranked in the USA. He's playing a freebooters list. It's pretty standard. War Trike, Garrots, Commandos, some Storm Boys, Dakar Jets, 1 Wazbomb Blaster Jet, and then just a bunch of buggies, 5 Scrap Jets, 4 Rucker Trucks, and a couple of mech guns. Pretty straightforward, pretty savage. Like if it goes first, it probably just wins 89% of its matchups. And it's really good.
The freeboot is really shining, and I like their color schemes and that kind of stuff. So I'm happy to see that kind of stuff out there.
Freebooters are really good right now. Like really good.
Yeah, phenomenal. The last we have a listener submission. So Scott LaFontaine is a friend of Paul and mine, and he just threw up a list. Hey guys, I'm taking this list. Would you guys talk to it on the show? And we're like, of course we will, mate. Every now and then we'll chuck one in, even though we've got a super stacked show. He's taking Demon's double battalion list. It's got his Chaos Undivided and Slaneshi. He's got Be'lakor, Super Lord of Change, a Poxbringer, and 3x3 Nurglings, and 2 single Beasts of Nurgle. Then he's got his Slanesh attachment, which is 3 Keepers, 3x10 Demonettes, and 2 Fiends. I actually quite like the list on Player Placed because you can really double down and make sure some combination of your big Gribblies is going to be safe.
I like the monster.
Those Demonettes are so fast. You know, they can just get same thing. Being up there to move, get in position, get a little bit of terrain blocking. Then you're sitting on all the objectives, and then nobody wants to get close to you.
Spot on. I quite like the breakdown. I love the single Beasts of Nurgle because they're really like a head scratch proposition. Like, what do I shoot a Dark Lance in, and then it gets blocked by the 5+, or it gets through and I roll a 4 and I can't kill it, or I roll a 5 and he makes a couple of 5+. So I need like 3 Dark Lances to kill a single Beast of Nurgle when I could shoot those same things at a freaking Keeper of Secrets. You know, it's just like the Beasts of Nurgle just get to have their fun.
It's funny. There's just easy tech in there that's, like you said, the target priority is just, I can't waste my big guns on this. I just shooting the little guns don't kill them. I need to kill Nurglings, and
I love creating that type of confusion. That's why rhinos and impulsors or whatever are so interesting to see in lists sometimes every now and then. Which, by the way, we called every rise, I think, on this show. Rhinos, they're coming back. Especially we see Grey Knights get more and more popular.
Dude,
Thousand Suns get more and more popular. Everyone that can take 2 or 3 rhinos will be taking 2 or 3 rhinos.
Well, dude, it's only a matter of time before that GK bubble, people figure out, hey, if I just figure out an effective way to handle Dread Knights, they'll have to start innovating. I reckon Rhino Rush is not a bad proposition, especially or the body block Rhino, where you just run 2 or 3 rhinos out, and you just have this ball of strikes and purgation squads and purifiers running up behind it with like interceptors on the flank. You could definitely be onto something.
I know this is the show where we talk about what is, and we're not supposed to speculate or whatever, but I had a buddy, he's like, you know what, in the field right now, a bunch of Zerks in rhinos might not be bad.
It's not bad, man. So gentlemen, pick a winner. I mean, it's hard to go past Sean Naden in this field when he's teched to beat the mirror, like, and he's obviously one of the best players in attendance. But what do you think?
Look, I'm going to go with the list. I'm picking Grey Knights again. I think Grey Knights, this is really their time. There isn't much that can stop them with just a little bit of fortune on their side.
I'm going to pick a Sisters for a podium. I know Brandon Grant's in attendance with Sisters, so I'm going to think there's already a super strong, ITC winner taking Sisters. So I reckon it's be Sisters for a podium, second or third, I think, at least.
Do we know what's in his list? Because the Sisters have all those options to roll how they can approach an event.
Yes, spot on. I do think the only one I worry about is I do think Sisters match up quite poorly into Sean's list. I think Sean's list is well teched into the
very much so. Sean's list can actually run over most Sisters lists. Like you can see some little bit different Sisters lists, but I think Sean, his list is very well teched to beat that right now, and most of the other top lists. That's why I still have to go with Sean, and he plays like I play, so I have to. I live vicariously.
Is that saying? Is that
okay, what are we saying?
A pat on the back or him a pat on the back? I don't know. Yeah. So, all right, we're on to our second event. Now, this is Dusty's event. This is Dustin and Henshaw's event. Stud or Snotling from Ontario, Canada. I should let you tell us about this one, mate. So feel free to give us the read.
Oh, you want the read? What part of it you want to know? Just you want me to do the
how many players? What's the scope of the event? What's the path to victory?
The whole
thing. Tell us about your event, dude.
Oh my God!
I did the stats, but you tell us the story.
Well, this is actually we tried to run it 2 years ago. So the Stutter Scrub podcast teamed up with the Hooded Goblin, which is a local hobby shop in Georgetown, Ontario.
I love the Hooded Goblin, by the way. Cody's hang out with him several times. Great dude.
Yeah, they are fantastic. They're fantastic, and you should see some of the trophies. Like, they're all custom printed, custom painted. They look amazing. They look so good. And the actual overall prize, did you see what it is? Have you seen any of the posts about what the best overall prize is? Not just the trophy, not just ITC points. It's $1,000.
Oh wow! Cash.
Not.
Do you have it? Do you have it in
Canadian?
$1 notes?
Canadian. So like $400 American or something, but whatever. But yeah, we actually have the prizes there are amazing. We finally got together when we couldn't run it 2 years ago because of COVID. Tried to do it again. COVID stopped us again. COVID is not stopping us this time. We are running it. We actually managed to open it up to 150 people, but of course, because you're required to be double vaxxed, so a lot of people had to drop a last minute. So we did drop from players. We were around 150 150, 160 at some point. We have dropped down to 108 now, but it is player
It's still over 100 players. That's impressive.
It's still over 100 players, which is still
Yeah.
the biggest event in Canada that we've had in God knows how long, since the last Capital City Bloodbath I think was around the same number in Ottawa. So this is the first time in Toronto we've ever actually been able to run something this big.
Man,
and
testament to the resilience of the Canadian community.
Oh yeah,
you guys have just been like, well, we're having this event.
We are having
this event. Too bad. Yeah.
The 3D printers have been printing nonstop for 5 months to get all this terrain ready. Myself and a bunch of people volunteering to help paint the terrain to get it all ready. The terrain is all painted, all ready to go, and it's all player placed. It was printed specifically for this event. It is so freaking exciting to finally get all this stuff together. My car is already packed. I have like 20 tables worth of terrain in there, a bunch of FLG mats. We're ready to go. And
let's talk about the players and the factions that we're going to see there, and then let us know what is the path to victory, how many rounds, what's the win conditions, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I can do the breakdown.
The faction breakdown, brother.
Oh, jeez, this is an honor here. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Imperial Super Faction. We have 5 Sisters, 1 Custode player, 9 Admech, 3 Astra Militarum, 8 Grey Knights, and 2 Imperial Knights. So that's pretty standard around here. We do have a lot more Custodes players. Yeah. Actually, 2 of them that I knew are probably pure Custodes players for years now. They had to drop because of the other reasons, so that's unfortunate. But we normally have a couple more Custodes.
Is Darren up near your area, or is he on the other side?
He is up in our area, but he's one of the ones I was talking about. He actually had the drop.
Dude, as soon as I saw 1 Custodes when I was doing the breakdown, I had to go see if it was Darren.
Yeah,
I was just
he was signed up. He was coming. He was supposed to come, but unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to make it now.
Here again, we see this resurgence of the number of Grey Knights. Yep. I mean, you can look at this like, is this a snapshot from 5th edition? You know, there's
Well, I can tell you that in Canada, 5th edition Grey Knights were very popular. So it's very easy for them to start flooding back now.
Yeah. So what is that? 8 Grey Knight lists. So 35 Dread Knights?
Probably a good bet.
That's a fair bet, actually. Bet, I wouldn't bet against that call. That's probably spot on.
I think that's spot on, yeah, for sure.
Which, by the way, I think that's the way to do it. And they look cool, and I love playing with them. Big stompy, they just wreck shop when they get in there. Now they got stats that match that. It's awesome. Oh, yeah. But I think that's what we'll see. I think that's what a lot of Grey Knight players are
absolutely. No, they're fantastic. I actually love them too. Going on to the Space Marine Super Faction, we have 2 just Astartes. Couldn't figure out exactly what they're running. 2 Dark Angels.
Get it together, you two.
2 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 7 Blood Angels.
I mean, of course.
Marines, 2 Iron Hands, 1 White Scar, 2 Death Watch, 1 Imperial Fist, and 1 Raven Guard. We're bringing all the chapters of the Stutter Snotling boys.
Raven Guard, we saw them do very well at the New Orleans Open from Games Workshop. They do have a little bit of play, and you've got player placed terrain there. Do you think they're going to be able to use that their advantage? Do you know anything about the person bringing that list?
I actually don't know the one that's going to be bringing the Raven. Did you get the name by chance, Adam?
Did not.
No,
did not.
I do know a few Raven Guard players, but most of them, unless it's Jason. It might be if it's Jason.
We'll
if it's
check
Jason
back in
Sparks,
next week and see how they did, because I think that's one of those chapters again that has some.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Jason Sparks, that's a terrifying list. He's very good with that list. So I'd have to.
Well, exactly right, and control of the terrain placement gives Raven Guard a lot more agency, lot more agency, I think. It's interesting the breakdown of the aggressive versus defensive Marines here. So on the aggressive side of things, we've got 1 Space Wolves, 7 Blood Angels, so we go to 8, 1 White Scars to 9, and then Raven Guard take that to 10. So 10 of the 21 we could define as pretty much pure aggression list, whereas we've got 2 Dark Angels, 2 Ultras, 2 Iron Hands, 2 Death Watch, which Death Watch are kind of tweeners. And yeah, so it's if I had to categorize it, I'd say there's about 6 defensive to 10 offensive. And once again, I think that's probably terrain influenced.
We got the comments as the Space Marine faction gauntlet in Canada. I wonder if someone's has to run through all 9 loyalists. On the way to victory.
There's 9 chapters. There's 9 chapters represented if you don't count the 2 successor Astartes, whatever they are.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good spread, really.
Yeah, it's actually great. I see every single Marine chapter in all the tournaments I go to here. Like Barry, I played an Imperial Fist, a Death Watch, and like a White Scars in the same tournament. So Jason Sparks is playing Space Wolves. He's the Space Wolf player. Oh wow, he's very good Marine player too. So that's Space Wolf.
Can't blame him.
Hey, where's our buddy in chat here? Who was these Space Wolves? This guy, he's gonna do well, buddy. He's gonna do well.
Wolf Freeze Carl. Yeah, where you at?
where are you, Carl?
Okay,
this is your
in
man
the Chaos
right here.
Super faction, there's I guess probably underrepresented as far as like what we normally see for Chaos factions, but highly represented in the factions we would suspect.
Yeah, for sure. So we have 1 Chaos Soup, 2,000 Suns, 4 Death Guard, and 1 Renegade Knight. So there's not too many. There's not too many representation here.
What's going on there? That's nothing. That's like 0. There are almost as many Blood Angels players as there are entire Chaos players.
Yeah, it's true. And it's weird because Chaos used to be extremely popular in Canada. What with Jim Vessel running it around here, we had a couple other guys that were using the same style list, and they just stopped. And it was very recent too.
Usually we'd see like 7 to 9 T-Suns, 7 to 9 Death Guard. It's usually, and that's been consistent for the last 2 or 3 like months almost since the T-Suns came out. And now I can't speak just to a wasteland, dead.
A lot of the Chaos players I know specifically switched to Grey Knights.
Oh, that is the biggest sacrilege in the world.
I don't know,
that's
man. There's a lot of theories about where the Grey Knights originally came from. You know,
that's true.
Okay.
That's actually true.
Are they really that far off from each other?
That's a great point. Tell us about the Xenos.
The Xenos faction, we have 3 Necrons, 9 Orcs, and a Tau player. There is a Tau player in attendance.
Yay! He can get together with the one Raven Guard player and just have a little tea party by themselves in the corner.
I love that comment. Yeah, know your enemy, Adam. You gotta know your enemy.
That's right.
Spend a little time in their mind. Nick Blackburn giving a shout out to the 1,000 Suns.
Oh, that's pretty good. 3 Necrons is unders, isn't it, boys? We've seen them bubbling around the 10-ish, to like, you know, somewhere to 8 to 10, usually in a 100-player.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They just aren't converting. Necrons have not been converting those wins, or even like being in the top brackets. I don't think
they could do well here. Like I know at least 2 of the Necron players that are going are both like they're faction experts. They're extremely good at it. They've been playing them for a while, so we could see some Necrons do pretty well here. Podium with some of the people in attendance that might be like a tall order, but it's not out of the wheelhouse. It's ambitious.
Yeah,
let's say it's ambitious.
It's ambitious. All right, tell us about your favorite boys.
My Hive Mind super faction. There's 1 Hive Mind, and I know like all of these guys. 1 Hive Mind, 3 pure Tyranids, and my boy Eddie repping the pure GSC, my hero.
The Dusty Posse. Here they are.
Do you know what's in that GSC list? Because I think there is a couple of builds that could at least give themselves a fighting chance, and I think it revolves actually like a lot around the Ridge Runners and the what is it, the Gladiators?
Yeah, and
and
god level use of blips. Blips are amazing in the meta at the
moment.
Guys,
you don't understand how strong blips actually are. Like they are broken.
Yeah,
broken. They are so good. And I do have an idea of those. It's fairly standard for the most part. He is running Ridge Runners. He's doing, I think it's 2 groups of 2, one group of 1, and then the standard couple 10-man Acolyte squads with Rock Saws, some Metamorphs, so Fighting Death and Flamers. It's a pretty standard GSC list. Something
you've got some support in the chat. GSC from Brett Gutterson.
That's right. Hey, tune into the stream because we're going to be putting this GSC buddy on stream round 1. He's got to represent for us. He needs all the support possible. We want him to.
And saying blips are great. I mean, another commenter saying blips are great
blips
now.
Blips are great. Blips are awesome. I'm a big fan of blips at the moment, especially with player place terrain. You're just like, ha, fools! No line of sight for you, and no getting planes around my flanks either.
Exactly.
But tell us about the last one.
The Eldari super faction. We have 2 mixed Eldari, 10 Drukhari, and 2 Harlequins.
It's pretty healthy.
It's
healthy.
Like it's 10 Drukhari is still like almost 10% of the field, but.
Well, they're still most represented, aren't they? Like the faction podium reads Drukhari, Orcs, and Admech tied on 8 lists, and then GK's in third with Drukhari, Orcs, and Admech with 9, GK's with 8. Honorable mention to Blood Angels coming 4th with 7.
Yeah. Well, you're going to hear this again and again. Drukhari are strong. They are out there. You cannot be going to a tournament and expecting to either not be playing Drukhari or have a strategy for Drukhari. And what we're seeing is the players that are beating them, think about it, have a strategy and are able to engage them in ways that they don't like. The Drukhari have a way to capture their momentum and keep it the entire game. The armies players that are defeating them and beating them in tournaments are the ones that can stop that aggression, stop that play, and start to swing things in their way and get a little break little breathing room
Yeah.
in a couple of phases or a couple of turns. And so that's what people need to be thinking about when they're going into
Mm.
these things.
Get some of the control of the tempo of the game back, yeah?
Mm.
Because
Yes.
like Drakari just get everything on their terms. You could fight to at least halve the battle, get some of it back on your terms. All of a sudden, the game opens up for you amazingly.
Yeah.
Top players in
I
attendance.
mean, all kind of things like just high volume of weapons and shots are competing like in the psyche phase, like we've seen Grey
Mm.
Knights do it. Sorry, jump in there, but I think it's important to like your people are going to see that, and that may be frustrating for lots of folks. But codexes have tools in them, and
Yep.
Yeah,
it's the
spot on.
mentality you got to figure out. Why are Jakari winning? They're very
Mm.
efficient, yes, but it's because they do this type of stuff on the tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. Top players in attendance. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. We've got Brad Chester, number one in the world overall. He's taken exactly the same damn thing he's been taking for 6 months. Strife, Dark Techno, Blackheart, pretty conventional.
Hey, if it
Bunch of
ain't broke, don't fix
Hellions.
it.
Well, exactly. Bunch of Hellions, some Chronos, and all the good stuff. No surprises. Hamza Saeed, is that Saeed? Is
Hamza
that saying
Saeed.
that right, Dustin?
You
Saeed?
got it.
He's ranked third in Canada. He's taking a Drakari list as well. He's got Blackheart, Poison Tongue, and Cult of Strife. Archon, Trueborn, a couple of Warriors, a couple of Witch Squads, a Razorwing Jet Fighter, and a Void Raven Bomber. Four Raiders, some Archons, some more Trueborn in the Poison Tongue. Scourges with Haywire Blasters, which I think is an interesting choice. 3 Venoms, a couple of Succubus, and a couple of 10-man Witch Squads. This is an interesting list. I threw it out to Dustin that this is a pretty unconventional one. I like the single Void Raven. I actually quite like the single Void Raven edition because I think it's very good into Orcs.
Yep.
You go into Orcs, and they all have to bunch up under their KFF. Turn 1, you're like, I just go first. This Void Raven is just going to get like 20 mortal wounds. It's going to be sick. But yeah, I don't know about the Razorwing. I haven't seen a Razorwing used competitively in quite a while.
Razorwing may be trying to that could be just where I just want 2 different planes to go in 2 different sections. I want to talk more about those haywires and the scourges that were kind of questionable. But last time I checked, Dread Knights per vehicles also.
Yep.
Yeah,
Haywire's
and like I
becoming
said,
more
all
and
those
more valuable now.
buggies.
No.
Yeah, well, hell, if you're going into the Venom, if he's leaning into the anti-Venom matchup, and he's like, well, the Venoms trump my build, so if I just add these little bit of Haywire in there, all of a sudden I can trump some Venoms straight back. Maybe. But as it was a bit of a head scratch. Moving on. Ridvan Skari Martinez, the scarred one himself, currently ranked 4th in Canada, also taking Drakari.
Shocking.
So the top 3 ranked dudes in
Well,
this
he
meta.
basically always takes Drakari, and he has it for the last
course.
decade. So gotta
Yeah.
he's
His
certainly
list
not
is-
on the bandwagon. He's
Yeah, well, his
driving
list
the
isn't on-
bandwagon.
His list isn't on the bandwagon either. Someone needs to page this guy and say, Trooper Patrol is better than Battalion. He's got a Battalion of Red Grief. This is the super detachment. He's got an Archon, a Homunculus, and a Succubus, of course. 2x5 Warriors, 2x5 Racks, and 1 unit of 5 Witches. 2x5 Incubi. 2 units of Mandrakes, 2 units of 5 Hellions, a unit of 5 Reavers, so a bigger unit of Reavers. 3 Chronos, 2 Talos, 2 Raiders, 2 Venoms. It's just like, I'm taking a battalion and I'm going to fill it up as much as I can. And here's my list.
Let's talk about that for just 1 second with the triple patrol is that the Drakari get that as a benefit. Other factions would have to pay for that triple patrol CP tax, command point tax. The Drakari don't. And anytime you get that kind of benefit in one of your books, you've got to perk up and figure out why you aren't using something that twists the game in such a way. And have a good plan. If you're not, you got to really think about why you aren't doing it that way.
Yep.
When it's such a powerful thing in the Codex, and you can't argue with success. What'd you say? He's 4th in Canada. You saying that?
Yeah.
He's not rocking face. I mean, I don't know.
It's freaking scary. He podiums everywhere he goes, pretty much. And I predict he's going to top 5 here somehow
He's ready to go for sure.
with a list I barely understand. But it's Drakari and he's scary, so he's going to do well. Yeah. Next up, we have Sam Procopio. 5th ranked in Canada, playing Blood Angels. He's your boy, Paul. Single battalion, chapter master, Sang Priest, assault intercessors, incursors, 6 Death Company. A Volkite Contemptor, 2x7 Sangard. I know one of them has all swords and one has a mix. A unit of 5 Scouts, 3 Plasma Inceptors, 2 units of Devs with 2 Multi-Melters and 2 Grabs.
Yep.
in each. A unit of Eliminators, a Drop Pod, and a Land Speeder Storm. And
This
I actually was reading down this. I'm like, he's actually packed in a lot of stuff into this list. I like it.
this is real interesting, and I promise I won't bog down the show talking about Blood Angels with all the stuff in here. But it is pretty novel that we see the chapter master and not a chaplain or something in there. And I do actually like the fact that he hasn't gone too heavy handed on the Sanguinary Guard in favor of some things that might play a little bit better in the field. I mean, the Volkite Contemptor is great for any Marine list, Chaos, Loyalist, Heretic, or otherwise. And then the Land Speeder Storms actually match up really well against things like vehicles, like flyers, like
Well,
AdMech, if they're taking Iron Striders.
well, mate, and you get to sling that unit of scouts out to disrupt somebody's backfield. Like, so there's the thing about the having more units in your opponent's backfield than they have in yours. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a secondary.
A secondary, yeah,
Secondary.
Yeah, and Death Company go and do that turn 1, and Scouts go and do that turn 2. It makes all the sense in the world to me. It's just like, okay, I'm just getting points. And even when you're not using that, you still got a very well-priced Land Speeder Storm that could just run around and be a nuisance. It's like more wounds than it should be for the points, and you really don't want to shoot it. In addition to that, he can chuck a freaking drop pod in your backfield if he lets you as well, and just dump a bunch of devs on you for the lulz. It's actually not bad.
And I can tell you,
and the Eliminators.
Straight up, Sam has been playing this list straight for at least a year or two now. Like, he's very practiced with it. He's very good with it.
Can't argue with that. I guess moving on. I can talk about the tech behind the theory of Blood Angels for the rest of the night. I'll spare the listeners.
We still got more to talk about.
Exactly. We're almost halfway through the episode, almost halfway through the coverage. We have Brett Guttison, who I hear is in the chat. He's ranked 10th in Canada. I'm going to tell you about his list. So, Brett, hello, mate. Welcome to the show. He's playing AdMech. He's got a Lucius Battalion, which is upgraded to be a veteran cohort. So all of a sudden, you're like, ears prick up. This is going to be a serious list. Marshal Manipulus for his HQs. 3x5 Rangers. So min Rangers, but still a bunch of squads. 2 units of 20 Vanguard. 5 Infiltrators, 10 Ruststalkers. 2 single las cannon chickens. 5 Sterilizers. A unit of 9 Cerberus Raiders, because you're a savage. 2 bombers full of saves, and a single Dune Rider.
Yeah.
I think this is just a good list. Like, it's just a good list.
Yeah, that's strong. I mean, look, the Marshals are the best point for value in the game, period. Succubus being a close second, I think, if you ask me. But incredible. So having 2 and having a Manipulus, that's what you would expect to see. I'd even, it's 2 Manipulus, I guess, if depending on how he normally deploys. But this is a absolute strong, going to be a powerful list, going to be a contender. Someone's going to have to go. If this one ain't winning, somebody's going to have to go through this, and it's going to be a struggle.
Exactly right. Brett Guttison in the chat, he wants us to point out there's arc rifles in each troop. Man, I don't have the time to write down the tech, but there you go. There's arc rifles in each troop. Congratulations, Brett.
There you go.
We got a question in the chat, and I want to before it rolls off, is that Jay Aussie could be that maybe down there from your neck of the woods, Adam, is asking about secondary chapters for Deathwing and Ravenwing, and that is something we would actually love to cover. I don't know if we have time on this show because we have such a jam-packed list of things to run through, but that is an amazing question. I'm saying it so I hopefully remember to come back to it, or hit us on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Or Facebook. Happy to chat about that stuff.
Message Adam Camilleri on Facebook. Happy to talk Dark Angels all day, every day. Same thing. If you have the same question about Blood Angels, message Paul. Same question about GSC, message Dusty.
Yeah, _TPM on Twitter or at Fights with Dice on Instagram. Happy to chat all day.
All right, jumping down to our third. Oh, sorry, no. It's ad break time, boys.
Oh, are we doing? Oh, no, we got to pick a winner. So we have to pick a winner from this, and then we'll take a break.
Well, I'm gonna say, if there's less than 2 Drukhari on the podium, well done, Starter Scrub Meta. If you can keep 2 Drukhari players out of the top 3, you guys are all winners in my book. Because as I see it right now, keeping like any combination of the top 3 Drukhari players off, 2 of them off the podium, is going to be a feat.
There it is. Feat. There's the goal, boys. We have a goal. We can do this.
That's the goal. Do it. Sandbag him. Lay him down. just do what you got to do.
Scary. Honorary Wrong Way Kid, which is the gaming club I'm a member of. Come down and been on my team at the ATC. Hang out with him all over the continent. I'm going with Scary as the winner. That's what I'm picking.
Nice. Yeah. Well, Scary hasn't crushed a major this season. He always gets his one. He gets his one major this season. So good call.
Yeah.
At break time now, boys. Paul, you want to call it?
Well, Dustin, unless you want to get, maybe you shouldn't call a winner. I don't know.
Well, I can because I already drafted on my podcast. So people know who I have.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah. Who you picking for?
I got to go with my buddy Riven. Scari's got to do it.
Yeah,
He's got to
go.
It's a first Canadian major. We need a Canadian to win it, Scary.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the other thing as well. You're going to let old man Chester
you cannot
walk
let
his
Chester take this
raggedy self over the border and take your lunch money? That can't happen.
There's like 100 Canadians at this event, guys. One of you has to be there.
Well, sweet. All right. Well, we're going to take just a quick break for a word from our sponsor. Please check them out. Please support them. And then we're coming back with more of us.
At Frontline Gaming, we make the best tabletop gaming mats in the universe. Our mats are durable, rollable, foldable, wipeable, and storable. Oh, and they look damn great, too. Join the thousands of tournament regulars and garage gamers who use our mats to bring their gaming surfaces to life. To ensure quality, Frontline Gaming mats are custom-made one at a time, printed with high-quality ink. Our immersive designs stay crisp and are available in a wide range of styles and sizes. So whether you're playing a war game or a skirmish game, whether you're fighting over an alien tundra, fantastical forest, or real-world setting, there's a great-looking battlefield for you. Our gaming mats are printed on extremely durable neoprene backing, so they won't slide around the table, and they're thick enough to stay flat, protecting what's underneath and allowing for slight uneven surfaces. We know from experience that an easily portable gaming surface is just better. Every mat comes with a sturdy nylon zip-up bag for storage and transportation. Whether your next battle is in your home or at the local game store, you'll be able to unroll your FLG mat and get gaming right away. Our products are all made and tested by passionate gamers at Frontline Gaming HQ right here in the USA. It's time to take your battlefield to a new level. Frontline Gaming, champions of tabletop.
Oh, so I love those. Check them out. Check out the channel if you haven't already. Look at listen to the other shows on the channel if you haven't already. We certainly appreciate you listening to us, but there's other content and other content creators that are contributing to this great network, and we appreciate all the support that you give us, and especially check out the FLGN store where you can get some of that stuff you just saw in the ads.
One more thing we forgot to say about Stud or Scrub is where you can go and tune into the coverage of it. Dustin?
Oh, that's right. You can go to our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel. Just search Stud or Scrub on there. We're going to be streaming it live all weekend, and I will be commentating on it, showcasing for you all weekend, joining you guys and watching all this wonderful 40K content.
If you have two screens, it is the weekend for you, because you can have Adam and the crew at SoCal on one screen, and you can have Dusty and the crew at Stud or Scrub on the other one, and just be like,
it's perfect. We're 3 hours apart, so literally once we finish our championship game, you can watch your championship game.
Roll it over, roll it over,
guys.
Beautiful.
It's like wonderful.
If you are painting or playing or whatever, I tell you, I love being just completely drowning in the hobby stuff. This stuff makes, even if you can't tune in and follow every absolutely thing, you have it on the background while you're doing some other hobby stuff.
Seriously,
get stuff done.
You got a voucher from Christmas, Father's Day, whatever. You didn't get some socks this year. You got a little voucher to your FLGS. Start collecting a Battle Force. You'll have it done by the end of the weekend if you watch all the content. Dead set.
Heck yeah! All right, we're gonna move on to the next event we're covering. This is the Goon Hammer Open in the UK, Nottingham.
Nottingham. 111 players. From Nottingham, England. 6-round major, apologies. The breakdown stands as thus. Very interesting factions here, because the first of the Imperial Super faction is the Sisters players, 13 of them. And we were calling this a couple of weeks ago. We're like, the Sisters players all exploded out of the woodwork. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And they were the most numerous faction on every single event we covered. And now they all took a break, off, spent some time with their families. Mistake for some, but now they're back again. There's 13 of them.
Well, they had to regroup. The Sisters seriously lost a step, I think, as the people started to figure out Admech and Drukhari and just how dominant they were. And Sisters had to go, I think, maybe a little bit of hobby lag to catch up as they re-equip their squads, figure out what is the right mix of Morning Vols in there.
Well, yeah, exactly right. And a lot of people may have just been like breaking into Sisters for the first time, getting their first couple of reps under their table. So there could be a lot of reevaluating and trying to address some of the possible power gaps or different stuff they need. But we also have
Put
3
those
Custodes
Dominion
players.
squads together. All those storm
All the
bolters had to
Storm
go
Bolters.
back to their
That's
bits
right.
box. That's what happened, and that's we're here. We're back. All the storm bolters are here.
So back into the Imperial Super Faction, like I said, 13 Sisters, 3 Custodes, 3 Admech, 3 Astra Militarum, 8 Grey Knights, 3 Imperial Knights for totaling 33 there. Going straight into Space Marines, 2 Unlisted Adeptus Astartes, like, up your game, boys. 10 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolves, 3 Ultramarines, 1 Iron Hands, 1 White Scars, 2 Salamanders, 4 Death Watch, 1 Black Templars. Very nice spread again. I think that is the same, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, same 9 different chapters in representation in this field, which I think is pretty healthy for the Space Marine players out there. It doesn't seem too polarized, apart from obviously having 10 freaking Dark Angels players, which we haven't seen in a while, by the way, boys. We haven't actually seen that in a while.
That's true.
10 Dark Angels players. I think we just saw that.
Well,
we did.
What I mean is, like, the Dark Angels being.
We just saw it. What are you talking about?
We did.
was
Last
right
one had
there.
10. Last one had 2. Stellar Assaulting has 2.
And I know
Yeah.
both of them.
Oh, it's 10. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it's 10.
Yeah.
It was 10 in SoCal.
No,
a
look,
little bit further up.
I'm just giving you a hard time because
Yeah,
we did,
it's
but
fine.
it's specific to this weekend, which maybe they figured out something that we don't
Well,
know.
That's what I meant. I meant that, like, we've usually seen Dark Angels be equal first or even second place in the last couple of weeks, last couple of months. But them seeing just be overwhelming up top in now 2 majors is pretty interesting. Onto the Chaos Super Faction, 2 Chaos Soup, 2 Chaos Space Marines, 6 T-Suns, 10 Death Guard, 1 Demons, 1 Renegade Knights. Man, literally the middle of England, or, the London and middle of England area is just like Death Guard home turf.
They
it
love
seems.
Death Guard.
And hey, going back to the last fact, Kara Quinn caught it before I did. There's no blood. You didn't say Blood Angels once.
There are
in
none.
that.
There are none. There's 0. Donut. Yeah, there
What's
are none.
going on?
Really
Well,
weird.
we just
Well, if you
they're
look
all
at-
in
if you
Canada.
look at
All
that,
7
yeah.
of them are there.
Well, it's all the defensive builds. So we got 10 Dark Angels, 3 Ultramarines, and Iron Hands, 2 Salamanders, 4 Death Watch. It's all the defensive stuff. There's very few aggressive Marines in that
That's
field.
a great point. Great
Mm.
point.
There's only 1 Space Marines, 1 White Scars, Space Wolves, and 1 White Scars, which you could say are overwhelmingly aggressive. Sorry, with the addition of the Black Templars. So 3 aggressive Marines that always, essentially always aggressive Marines versus 22 defensive Marines? It's kind of crazy, that polarity.
It's like their football versus our football.
It really is.
But
Yeah,
actually,
spot
I
on.
mean, I was slightly kidding, of course, but think that factors into play style between the 2 different groups of players.
Well, I think it says a lot about terrain. I mean, I saw the terrain in
Mm.
LGT. If you guys saw London GT, it was good quality terrain, but there was like 1 or 2 less pieces than what I'd call a game of at an FLG event or a GW event. GW has the same amount of pieces, but the GW ones have an extended footprint on those plexiglass things, which just takes up more spheres of influence. I look at the London GT stuff and, like, there's just like 1 or 2 pieces less, which as a Marine player, I'd be like, well, that just means I get to use more gun. And my melee stuff doesn't get there as easily. So obviously, I just take more guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, makes sense.
Mm.
I do like this saturation of Death Guard, though. I think that is, if that's the scenario that you're describing is playing out, then you know what, you just make good on reducing damage and being super tough. I mean, that's.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, if I'm going to be seen, I might as well be tough. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just ordered a couple more flesh mowers. I'm creating this movement myself. If the community's not gonna put the flesh mowers in, I'm putting the flesh mowers in, and they're coming
Boys,
to my hobby table.
Scary just joined us in the chat. You are waving the Canada flag. You are the hopes and dreams of your nation lay upon your shoulders. No pressure.
All the hopes and
at
dreams.
all.
So yeah, no pressure or anything, but you better deliver, buddy.
Your list is insane. I don't get it, but I'm sure it's good. All right, and next to our super factions, we have Xenos, 6 Necrons, 7 Orcs, and a single Tau. What do you make of that, gents? Because that is double the Necrons from the previous event.
So, I mean, I think you've really nailed it here with the analysis of the defensive list, are at least the ruling mentality going into this event by many of the players, and the Necrons fit right into that. The Orcs on the other side, I mean, we know Orcs have been popularized in that area, and they've had a lot of success, and so I'm willing to bet that may be what everyone's teching against.
Orcs are the Alpha
these
Strike.
7 orcs
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, exactly. Orcs are the Alpha Strike. Orcs like what's going to kill me turn 1? Orcs are. Might as well be Death Guard, so all the Rucker Trucks are 1 damage and win me on 4s, and I got an invuln save and blah 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 blah. You know.
There you go. Matthew Nurgle holding down the flesh mowers. Sorry, I got to bring it in.
Beautiful. Next up, Hive Mind Super Faction. 3 Tyranids. That's it. There's no GSC, no Hive Mind, just 3 Nid players. But see, I love seeing it. I love seeing. Well, I'm keen to see because I get these really nice slap shots. So Nids and the Hive Mind has been bottoming out the world over. I want which makes it's going to make it really clear and really apparent how much of an impact this new supplement makes.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be cool.
It'll be very cool.
What I do like is that the Nid players are excited about it. Like we mentioned in the beginning of the show, they're actually excited about it, which means there is some interesting things in there that are going to change up what they're bringing. Will it increase the number of Nid players? I don't know that. At least what we see in tournaments, but I think it's definitely going to improve their placing, their rankings in the tournament.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Last up for the super factions, we have Eldari, 1 mixed Eldari, 7 Drukhari, and a single Harlequins. So actually underrepresentation against the rest of the events this weekend for Drukhari at this one. And I wonder if that's also because they feel like they can hide less stuff.
Because of like the terrain element you're talking about?
Yeah. Could it also be terrain, or is it just merely just this is just the dynamic of that field?
I think it's more of the dynamic of that field because usually when we see the tournaments over there, that's very heavy in the Death Guard, it's very heavy in the AdMech, which
AdMech very heavy. AdMech, Orcs, and Death Guard seem to be
and to me that kind of indicative of the Drukhari not being as heavy. Personally.
So our faction podium for this event, Sisters on top with I think 3 more lists than anybody else.
3 more than the Death Guard and 3 more than the Dark Angels.
Who exactly 10 lists.
And those 3 factions make up what is it 23.5% or whatever the field.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's and when you look at it like that, you're like, well, I have to be good into power armor.
Yeah.
I have to be good into power armor because there's so much of it. And next up, we have Orcs and Drukhari tied for 3rd place, and that's pretty unusual. Like for the last two events, it's been Orcs and Drukhari just clearly in the top 3 rather than being equal 3rd.
Well, this is a situation. I do think that speaking of defensive play, whatever, you know what you're going to encounter, and if those were super hot the tournament before, you can imagine you can count on people taking things that will beat them, or at least are designed to beat them. So how do you avoid that? You just play something else the next tournament.
Yeah,
dude, spot on.
Yep,
nailed it. Top players in attendance, we have Nassim Fouchain, currently sitting, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, 2nd in the UK. Iron Hand Successor, Born Heroes, Weapons of Rage, of course, Patrol and Vanguard configuration, Lieutenant, Infiltrators, Company Veterans, Redemptor, a unit of Devs with 3 Grav and 1 Multi-Melter, a unit of Eliminators, and a Drop Pod, a Landspeeder Storm. Next attachment comprises a Tech Marine, another unit of Company Vets, another Contemptor, a Volkite Contemptor, another Redemptor, apologies, a Volkite Contemptor, and then 15 Vanguard Veterans, 3 into 5, another unit of Devastators, exactly the same configuration, another unit of Eliminators, and another Landspeeder Storm. He's actually got a lot of stuff.
If Marine players take nothing from any of the that we've run down at all, I mean, because everyone's got their own kind of way they approach these type of things, the Devastator squads are back. They are absolutely being used and on the table, winning games. Devastator squads are absolutely back.
Yeah, I love the 3 Grav 1 Multi-Melter configuration as well, because of course that 1 Multi-Melter gets your what's it called?
The Servo Skull, the 2+ to hit is what you're
to hit. Yeah, what's it called? And then of course it gets your Cherub as well.
Yeah, the Signum.
That's it. Gets your Signum to hit on 2s, and then also. I know, it's so bad.
Look, we don't concern ourselves with using Blood Angels, all right? I don't know what that thing is.
If we have a small baby flying around us, we usually give it a sword and send it in. +1 to win.
That's fair.
Off you go. But yeah, I love the 3 Grav 1 Multi-Melter with when you have this Signum and you have the Cherub for the double shoot, because all of a sudden you got 2 Multi-Melters that are hitting on 2s now in conjunction with all the Grav shots, and he's got 2 of those units, so he can spike wherever he likes and essentially influence 3 different squads with his 2 units of devs. Just be like, you get 4 Multi-Melters hitting on 2s, and everybody else just cops 3 Grav cannons each. It's a good configuration, and Nassim's doing incredibly well.
And once again, I want to direct everyone to those 2 pages that the largely ignored in codexes until times like these, and that is the custom chapter traits. and almost
Yes.
every book has the option of blending that. So if you find yourself struggling, but yet you still want to play with the same models you're playing with that you love, that you hobbied and made or whatever, see what you can ring out with some of these customizable things.
Spot on. Next up, we have Mike Porter, 4th ranked in the UK. He's taking Eldari, where we've seen a bit from Mike Porter. I think he was on last weekend or the week before, and he's actually mixed up his list a little bit. Last time we saw him taking a Lynx and a Shadow Night Spinner, and he's mixed it up a little bit here. He's got the same Eldari, Harlequin, Soaring Spite, and Craft World Expert Crafters, Master Crafted configuration. He's got, which is a battalion and a spearhead. He's got a Shadow Seer, 2 Troop Masters, 20 Troop in 4 units of 5 with fusions and embraces, 5 Sky Weavers, which is a new addition, 4 Star Weavers, which is, of course, for the 5 units of troop. He has a Farseer Sky Runner, 6 Shining Spears in 2 units of 3, 9 Dark Reapers, 3 units of 3.
Obviously,
now,
maximizing the Tempest launchers there for the
Tempest
Dark
launchers.
Reapers.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that I called it, but I said when we reviewed this last time, it's like I wish he had a second unit of spears or a little bit more bikes in here, just to mess with his opponent a bit, because you don't want to have to send out fusion boats if you don't have to, because a lot of the time a fusion boat overkills the hell out of something or fails.
Yeah.
Whereas Shining Spears are good at chipping away a lot of what people throw out turn 1 onto mid-board objectives. They're actually phenomenal at it, between the 2 different shooting profiles and a good melee profile.
They get in there too, and you mentioned that maybe the terrain's an issue here. That means people are going to be like hugging. They're going to be like kind of in the same spot or whatever. So when those bikes can jump over there, shoot one thing, and then charge the other, I love doing that. I love it when it works out that way.
Dude, you just nailed something on the head, which I didn't realize. So what happens when you chuck a Lynx and a Night Spinner into your army? Yeah, you actually the footprint that your army takes up trying to hide it becomes a problem. You think about how small the footprint of this army is. It's 4 boats, 2 units of 3 bikes, a unit of 5 bikes, and 3 units of 25 mil Dark Reapers. You could fit all that in one terrain piece on some tables.
Yep,
that's ambitious.
Fair enough.
Actually,
Yeah, you could.
The footprint is tiny. I actually love that about it, actually. And yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It sparked my brain.
What's next?
Greg Chamberlain, 6th ranked in the UK, playing Death Guard. It's really straight up and down. Battalions of Mortarian's Anvil, Tallyman, DP, Lord of Contagion, 3 units of 10 Poxwalkers, 2 Volkite Contemptors, 9 Death Shroud, 3 units of 3, of course, Blightspawn, 2 single spawn, huge fan of, and then 3 PBCs. Just cut dry, easy as it comes.
Two single spawn. I mean, they will do work because people again have to deal with them. You have to shoot something that you would prefer to be shooting at a Plague Burst Crawler. Yeah.
But yeah, those are the things that make me like having the Shining Spears, because that's what he chucks up turn 1 onto those objectives. And you're like, well, a fusion boat overkills the absolute hell out of this thing, and then he gets to trade and kill the fusion boat. Or I can just chuck up three friggin' Shining Spears that I don't care about. Maybe they got a couple of buffs to make.
Let's be clear about something, Adam. Like, these fusion boats do not automatically kill things. They can flub pretty hard. Let's be real.
Well, that's what I mean. When they kill something, they usually triple. They
horrible
usually
I rolled all those wounds.
Yeah, yeah.
The Lord of Contagion is an interesting choice to me. Are you guys seeing that out there?
Well, that's weird. I mean, of course, he needs the second HQ choice because the Tallyman is listed as his free elite choice because he's got that little trick. But yeah, the Lord of Contagion over, say, the Malignant Plaguecaster.
Well, the Plaguecaster,
yeah. Because he's already got the DP for the Psychic, and if you're already popping that Psychic bubble because you have to take a Psyker for Death Guard, I usually like to double down. I usually like to be like, okay, DP and Malignant Plaguecaster, or even 2 Plaguecasters if you really want to. One of them goes up with the Plague Skull and does all the damage stuff, and one stays back and buffs up the Contemptors and the PBCs. But yeah, the Lord of Contagion, if I had more time, I would have looked into like what he's packing.
Well, he hits hard, and he does have. I mean, he's got auras, and he hits real hard. So maybe that's just it. Just a second, almost like countercharger to back up the Death Shroud, maybe. To be able to control they have a large area of influence because of how hard they hit, and you don't want to get close to him because of that.
He's a good stopper as well. You can just send him into stuff, and you just won't die for 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah,
which is nice in a pinch. Next up, we have Ben Jones, 7th ranked in the UK. So this event is stacked, by the way. Like what I've just read off, I've already read off 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the top 10 in the UK are in attendance at this event. Ben Jones, ranked 7th, playing Drukhari. Blackheart, Poison Tongue, Obsidian Rose. I can reel this off in one sentence. 3 Archons, Draz, Sucky, 3 units of Trueborn, 5x5 MSU Warriors, 5 Raiders, and 3 units of Mandrakes. Easy as it comes. And we're kind of starting to see this archetype break out a little bit. This triple Cabal list. What do you guys think of it? Because this is the second or third time it's come up.
I love the Triple Cabal because I love Trueborn. I know a lot of people aren't that sold on them, but I love Trueborn. I think that they're Dark Reapers of the Drukhari. Like, I don't understand why more people don't do them. Like, I love them. Whenever I bring a Drukhari list, I have at least 2. 3, I can see why people don't do 3 because you do usually want some more, like maybe some strife in there. That's
usually want that's what I mean. Like, I mean, I don't mind not having dark techno.
I don't mind not
fine.
having that. Exactly.
Yeah, but not having strife, not having the ridiculous succubuses and some witches just to hold people in place and just play shenanigans seems weird to me. And yet this list keeps coming up, and obviously people are doing well with it.
Oh, here we go.
The Trueborn do a lot of damage.
Got a comment from Nurgle Matthew. The Lord of Contagion is approved. It can tank and spank. That's
there we go.
It's not wrong. Not wrong.
Old school MOBA stuff here.
But yeah, like I do like the 3-inch Trueborn. See, I worry about him into the Orcs matchup though. You've only got 5 boats, and essentially your whole list is going to be in 5 boats, and then 3-inch Mandrakes to make you not get charged turn 1 or play your secondary game with your, like, for your rod and for your engagement fronts and stuff.
Yeah.
But like if you go second versus Orcs, you could just lose 4 boats turn 1, and then you just got a bunch of walking Trueborn that just get wrecked. It feels awkward to me. Well, sorry, it feels like it could get awkward to me in some matchups going first or second. And yet at the same time, like, you're absolutely right. 3-inch Trueborn is savage. It's just savage. Like, I'm just going to rock up. That's dead. That's dead. That's dead. Next turn, that's dead. That's dead. That's dead. I've got 5 Darklands as well, so that 4th thing's dead too. So I see it. I see where the strength is. I don't know. Got some concerns with some matchups.
We are coming up on time, so I'm going to move us. So we got David. 8th ranked in the UK, Malik 10th ranked in the UK, both taking AdMech. No surprise what AdMech do. No surprise, it's like why they are taking it.
Spot on. So David, the 8th ranked gentleman in the UK, his list was unreadable. It was in a blob just of text, so I didn't bother. I didn't have the time. Malik Amin Rubio has won just about everything he's attended in the last month. He's playing a savage. Well, he's kind of been one of the guys really flying the flag for the AdMech Flyers. I'll do a quick breakdown here. Triple patrol of Lucius and Mars, so 1 of Lucius, 2 of Mars. A Martial Manipulus, 2 times 20 ranges, and then another Manipulus, another 20 ranges in his 2 Lucius. Sorry, his Lucius attachment and his first Mars attachment. 2 single las cannon Chictions, and then 2 Stratoraptors. So that's the gunship plane. Then his last attachment is a Marshal, 5 Rangers, 5 Infiltrators, 7 Ruststalkers, a Bomber, and another Stratoraptor, and lastly is a Dune Strider. So 4 planes, 3 bricks,
I love the Dune Strider.
And then a couple of
just in general.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting choice. Yeah. And it probably will help win some games, just the fact that it exists. We have a whole nother tournament to talk about, so I'm gonna put the foot on the gas here and talk about the Malmo War Game.
We ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, we'll jump through this one pretty quick. Last thing, I can't see. I'd love to see Malik not win this event, but I'm pretty sure he's going to win this event because he won both the LGT Invitational and the Open.
Maybe his quarter. Like do it to it.
He's got a great list and he's a good player. Bang, comes together, smashing it. Malmo Wargaming Weekend 5 from Malmo, Sweden. 108 players, 6-round major. Quick and dirty stats here. Imperial Super Faction, 7 Sisters, 4 Custodes, 9 AdMech, 7 Grey Knights, 2 Imperial Knights. Quite a good spread there. 7 Sisters, 9 AdMech, 7 Grey Knights, and then 4 Custodes and 2 Knights on the end. Really quite even. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is keep going. We'll get all the way through this.
Oh yeah, sorry, we were trying not to interrupt you.
All right, fine. Sorry, guys. Next up is Space Marine Super Faction. I'm just gonna smack you. We'll see how fast I can go, guys. Everyone,
let's go.
Here we go.
Space Marine Super Faction, 1 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolves, 2 Blood Angels, 5 Ultras, 5 Iron Hands, 3 White Scars, 2 Death Watch, 1 Black Templars, totaling 25 lists. Then we have the Chaos Super Faction, 1 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 4 Death Guard, 3 Demons, 12 lists in representation. Xeno Super Faction, 2 Necrons. Arse has fallen well out of Necrons over in Sweden. 9 Orcs, total.
More Tyranids than there are Necrons.
Zero. More Tyranids, exactly. Hive Mind Super Faction, 3 Tyranids, 1 GSC, 4 total lists. And lastly, Eldari, 3 mixed Eldari, 10 Drukhari, 1 Harlequins, 3 Craft World Eldar. Our faction podium sits as Drukhari with 10 lists, AdMechs and Orc with 9s, and Sisters and GK bringing up with 7.
That is completely unsurprising, is that because those I think are what we've seen by evidence probably the strongest or most winningest factions for tournaments. So that's why people are bringing them. But who's got what it takes to crack it?
Well, so there's a couple of interesting super factions here. That Eldari super faction is actually way healthier than we usually see. Usually it's one mixed Eldari and one or zero Craftboard Eldar. 3 and 3 there. More than both, more
indirect fire.
them and Tyranids.
That's what it takes. That indirect
yeah,
fire.
Both of them have more than Necrons.
Well, that question, ask it, like, what does it take to crack this stuff? And these armies, especially as the terrain gets more mature, they can really pick and choose their own conflicts, their battles. When you have a bunch of quality indirect fire, which the Eldari can produce, then you take away one of those advantages of their armies. And I think maybe that's why we see that here in this tournament break.
Yeah, spot on. Also, I'm going to call it right now. Like Sweden is, I say this a lot. That Scandinavian area is pretty much a WTC heartland. So this will be extremely dense tables. E.g., making your call of the indirect fire really spot on there, Paul. And also, it actually was one of the reasons Necrons struggled quite a lot. A lot of terrain, they struggle to get lines of fire, and they're a close range army. So you think that would benefit them? Hey, I get to walk up out of line of sight, but they're not quick. They're not quick enough to jump from cover to cover, especially when you got these big 20-man bricks. You can't get from one piece of cover to another with the 20-man block. You're going to have a tail, and that tail's going to get shot to hell. So yeah, I think the Necrons really do struggle on some of both the dense and the light. They just need a bone thrown their way. It's actually a bit of an underrepresentation of Chaos, if you guys saw. Only 5 T-Suns and 4 Death Guard, but 3 Demons, which is interesting.
That is, making up about 10% of the field. I want to give the players their due too, because these are, I got a bunch of top ranked players in that region in attendance, and if we can quickly cover at least their factions.
I can do this pretty quick as well, mate. We got 7 of the top.
Auction aside here, Adam.
Babies, 7 of the top 10 in Scandinavia have come out of the woodwork for this one. We've got Sebastian Larsen playing the first place Scandinavian player, playing a Demons Patrol and Battalion of Slanesh and Undivided. This is Monster Mash. It's pretty similar to the Scott LaFontaine list. I wonder if these guys are conversing. 3 Keepers, 3 times 10 Demonettes, 2 units of 2 Fiends, 2 units of 5 Furies.
There's a demon chat group out there that have cracked the code.
Oh, they cracked the code. We've got Be'lakor, an unkillable Lord of Change, and 3 times 3 Nurglings rounding out the list. Going straight into the next one, guys. Jonathan Slay Johnson, second in Scandinavia. Grey Knights Patrol, Prescient Brethren. I think we've called this list before. Libby, Techie, Grandmaster Dread Knight, 3 times 5 strikes, 10, 10, 5, 25 interceptors, and 3 regular Dread Knights, and a Rhino.
Just for he's Dread Knight light, if you ask me, but obviously being successful.
Well, it's the most you can get in a single detachment, isn't it?
Oh, fair.
3 regulars. Yeah. Next up, we've got Oscar Lemming, third in Scandinavia. Orcs, Freebooters.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do see there's the Grandmaster Dread Knight. So he's not light. He is rocking a lot of Dread Knights. Okay.
It's exactly as many as
sorry. Yeah.
He's got exactly as many as he's allowed to have. Sorry, Dustin.
No, I was just saying we're panicked for nothing.
Yep.
Oscar Lemming, third in Scandinavia. His Orcs got Freebooters, Patrol, and a Natrider. Warboss on Bike, unit of Grots, unit of Commandos, 2 times 5 Stormboys. 2 Wazbomb Blaster Jets, a Big Mech, 221, that's 5 Scrap Jets, 221 Rucker Trucks, so that's 2 units, 3 units, 1 single Mech Gun, and 2 Dakar Jets. It's pretty much becoming almost carbon copy. It's just how many of each buggy. Yeah. There's always seemed to be somewhere between 8 and 10 buggies, and then 3 or 4 planes, and it's just which configuration.
I think it looks good. It's very powerful. Incredibly powerful, orky, if you ask me, but and also power can win.
Mm-hmm.
Jonas Hedlund is 5th in Scandinavia. He has an exact copy of Jonathan Slay Johnson's list that we just read out. Exactly the same.
But that's okay. We see this a lot in Magic also, to where if you have teched and figured out what the best list is and can really slice through the field, your crew takes it.
Yeah, spot on. Like you double and triple down. We're seeing the stuff with like you said, Broviathan at the LVO is a great example. Here's my pick to win it though. This is Rickard Nilsson, 6th in Scandinavia. I love Rickard, good friend of mine. He's taking in Admech Lucius Battalion, Marshall, Manipulus. 20 ranges, 80 ranges, 20 Vanguard, 40 Vanguard, 120 Skitarii bodies.
Yeah, that's good.
3 times 5. So 2 units of Infiltrators, a 7-man and a 5-man. 2 times 3 Cerberus Raiders. And 3 Scorpius Disintegrators. So he has the line of sight shooting. He has 120 bodies to just soak up the whole damn board, and he's got a couple of little aggressive units to just be frustration.
This thing. The second,
dumb.
Highly ranked AdMech player we've seen, or maybe even more, pivot to using the Disintegrators, which I mean, that's significant, I think, and people should look at
Well,
them if they haven't already.
you called it, mate. I mean, out of line of sight fire just looks like it's gangbusters on these tables because everyone just takes it when they can.
It's
Um,
important.
ne- it's yes, absolutely, mate. Don't you wish, like one of the Goliath loadouts, Rock Runner loadouts, was just like a little mortar or
Is that a
Oh
something.
little
my
still?
god! Don't tease me like that. Like, oh,
Love it. Kili Paske. Apologies, I'm sure I messed that one up. He's ranked
You're doing
7th in
great.
Scandinavia. Grey Knight, Sword Bearers, Present Brethren, Patrol, and Patrol. Kyria Draxus making an appearance here. This is quite an interesting list. Grandmaster Dread Knight, Drago, 5 strikes, a Dreadnought with a multi-melter and a fist. Pretty interesting. And then 2 Dread Knights, so that's 3 in that detachment. A unit of Servitors, starting off the next one, a Libby and a Techie, another unit of 5 strikes, and 2 units of 10 Interceptors, making up the Prescient Brethren and a portion of that. It's a good list. Why do you think Kyria Draxus has made an appearance?
Yeah.
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I'm actually
Well, so
stumped on that one. I'm trying to think.
one of the big things, one of the big holes that no Grey Knights do not have is any source of fight last or fight first.
Right.
Well, they might have fight first somewhere, but I don't think they have any fights last. There's no Judicia for them to
Yeah,
ally in.
that's
There's
as soon as you said that,
nothing.
I'm like, wait, they didn't get the Judicar.
They've got none of it. So the only way to do it is take a Calexis, which debuffs your entire army as well as your opponents, which is horrible, or you go Kyria Draxus. And so, like, I think this is, hey, I'm going to win the mirror match. I think this is what this is.
How
He's
many
like,
points is he?
there's 2 other ballers in my meta, both taking Grey Knights, who I know coming. There's Admech coming, who they've got a lot of fights last too. This is a good pick. I like it.
Yeah, I do that. The simple insertion of going back in the books, looking at the tech, and that's what
Uh-huh.
we're seeing. I say looking at the list the way we have been. If like, I'm not saying necessarily you should go back and check out the backlog of shows, although you might
Why
enjoy it.
not?
Check out the
You
backlog
should.
of shows, but you can see the evolution of some of these lists and our archetypes of lists and what is being taken week to week to week to combat what was there last week or what they think anticipate is shifting towards the next week. And this is
Spot
probably
on.
one of those choices.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is very much a meta choice and one that I absolutely agree with. Last, we have Christian Colding. He's 8th ranked in Scandinavia. So of the top 10, we have 7 of the top 8 in Scandinavia. Like, in
Gonna be a
attendance
slobber
here. It's
knocker.
going to be a absolute Shark Tank.
Hey, where's that 4th place guy?
Deathwatch.
Where is he? Why isn't he there?
Yeah, that's the only hole. That's the
Why
only
isn't
hole.
he
We
in?
have 1 to 8 except number 4. Just drop the ball. He's playing Deathwatch single battalion detachment. Lieutenant, Primaris Captain, Primaris Techie. 3 Proteus kill teams. With 2 of them have a mixture of bikers and Storm Shield vets, and then the other one has bikers and Vanguard vets. Sorry, no, regular boys and Vanguard vets instead of the bikers. 3 Redemptors, 2 Volkai Contemptors, a unit of Servitors, and a unit of Eliminators.
This dude
That's
ain't messing
the whole
around.
damn list.
So I will say
Nah.
that every Space Marine chapter, like if you're struggling what to take, 3 Contemptors is a good choice. You could just
I don't like even for like the aggressive factions like White Scars and Blood Angels. I'm like, well, it's still good.
yeah.
You
You
know?
could still get by with taking it if you were
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I want to take this weekend. I've already taken the same list for a while. I want to try something different. Start with 3 Redemptors and 2 Contemptor or Volkites, and you'll be all right.
Well, dude, that's our last event. I'm picking my man Rickard Nielsen to win this, not only because he's a friend of mine, because his list is absolutely just ape shit on its head bonkers. But look, some of these Grey Knight lists will give it a run for their money. I'm just thinking about how many, like, there's so many Stormbolters in some of these lists, so many like Dread Knight sweep attacks and interceptors that can just pick up 20 mans. He might have a rough
Think
try.
of how perilous this is for Sebastian there, bringing Bellicor and all these Grey Knight lists.
Oh, dude! Oh my god!
I mean,
walls of steel on that guy.
I gotta
dude,
go
yeah.
with this guy because you look at. I can look at the list here. I can look at the people in attendance, and I can tell probably how close knit and aware of the community that they are. And so I think he's just saying, you know what, come at me, and I admire that.
Yeah, I'm on top of the mountain. You got to play into me.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not locked in here with you boys. Let's do it.
That's my pick.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dustin, you want to?
I think I like the Draxus. I like the Draxus pick, so I'm going to take Kili.
All right.
I like
nice.
that
Good call.
looking deeper into the codex. I like that. I
If
believe
this
in
is
him.
Well, it's
your,
just
we have a
what Paul said.
yeah. If we have a segment on the show called the Fuego Rapido, we're about to jump into now. If you're new here, this is your first time. We do this every week where we have a series of topics where we give ourselves 2 minutes to rapid fire on these and give our thoughts. When the 2 minutes are up, the comments stop and we move on to the next topic. So here with the Fuego Rapido, we're going to start as soon as I read the first topic. I believe we're going to get that timer going. What's the biggest wish from chapter approved this year? Dustin, we'll start with you.
Point drops on aberrants.
Ooh, nice one.
Bam.
Yeah,
That's
like,
not bad.
cool.
Yeah. Adam,
I
what do you
mean,
think?
that's the most expensive thing in my codex, and the easiest thing that can definitely go down a point. Because right now, the most expensive
Actually,
and the best weapon in the entire 40k universe is a stop sign. So
well, dude, that was very reasonable and probably
I don't have a better
likely
answer.
to happen request.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I expected you to reach
this
for the
is
stars and be
reasonable,
like,
right? I'm not out of the box here.
40. I want my faction to be 40% cheaper across the board. Yeah, reach for this. Yeah, fair enough. My go.
Yeah.
Oof. See, I want to say something reasonable now because Dustin's made this so
Go shoot pie in the
level-headed.
sky. What do you want?
This
And it
is
doesn't have to
where
be
I'm
points
being
either.
brought to. I have to be reasonable.
I want to see a decrease on all Space Marine troops and an increase on, or stay the same on everything else.
Wow.
Yeah,
Big,
fair enough.
Big.
Fair enough.
Well, I think we could see things like Redemptors go up. Like, admittedly, maybe not 20 points, but 5 or 10.
Man, y'all are
I'd
asking
still
for
probably take 2.
reasonable things. I want to see some.
Yeah. But man,
What's
so
Fantasyland? If you had a wish, like if
one
you had a
thing,
magic
yeah.
ring that gave you some power.
All right, you tell us. What's yours?
Well, I
let's
don't
see.
have a better
You
answer
show us,
than
Paul.
better stop signs to beat people with in the 41st millennium. I don't have a better answer than that. But if I just wave a magic wand or whatever, I would like to see some chapters of Space Marines get pay differently for different units. I think because they could utilize them differently. Maybe if I was waving a magic wand.
20% increase holistically. Add Mech and Drakari.
Nice.
Bang, done.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Here we
go.
go. This is something. This is a little bit of a private thing between the battle between production and commentary here. I won't say who's got the beef or the axe to grind, but can Pure Nuclear Cult beat Grey Knights?
The answer is yes, absolutely, without any competition at all, because there's nobody here to refute that. So 100% pure GSC can dummy
How?
Grey Knights. It's
How?
like not even close.
Give us the game plan. What's the list that works well there? Because as far as I can see, like, it just even Stormbolters on the Overwatch just give you such headaches. Like, everything's bad.
You're not thinking
bad.
the GSC mind, man. You're not thinking. Why are you charging with just
Well,
those
that's
guys?
right.
Like, either you're
That's
charging
right.
pure terrain
Tell
so they
me.
can't see you.
Teach me. We've got a minute left.
The GSC list that I'm running right now is basically my Drukhari version of GSC. It is 9 Goliaths filled with min squads of 5-man Occultite squads with 2 rock stars. We got some 10-man neophytes with some mining lasers, and they are actually custom cult creed. Like Paul was saying earlier, you got to dig into that the cult creed. So they're all re-rolling their hits, and they don't get the penalty to move and shoot. So all my mining lasers are really efficient. And I've got these little 5-man squads of Acolytes. And 4 Rocksaw attacks without Might from Beyond, they're actually really good at killing interceptor squads or strike squads. They're really efficient at it for 60 points. 60 points for this. You know what else is 60 points is good at it? A Sanctus, a close combat Sanctus.
Last week at the Crucible, a list that was rocking 10 purifiers actually took it. Early some number of purifiers. I bet they were thinking the GSC were going to come get them.
Absolutely, they were waiting for GSC to come knocking. That's why they had to
shake it in their boots.
Man. That was the only chance they had. The only chance.
I wish so. I'll go ahead and try to telegraph. This is a battle between Richard, our producer in the background, and Dustin here. That this actually happened, and we're telling a story here. It was a good excuse. Thanks for getting it out. Next topic. Best post-event meal. Best after the tournament. What are you craving? I'm gonna just jump up with this. I want just a nice I want a great hamburger. I don't want a nice hamburger. I want a great hamburger. I don't want just crisp fries and a cool beverage. just an ice cold beverage. But if I can get just the best hamburger, I'm satisfied. No matter how I did in the event, just gonna want to eat that nice
Good
hamburger.
call. Dustin?
If I had to choose the best meal after it doesn't matter win or lose, hamburger's a good one, but I need something a little less greasy. I'm married to an Italian, so I think I'd have to go for a nice pasta dish, like some nice,
Comforting.
comfort, like
Filling.
maybe some ravioli or my absolute favorite cannelloni. Oh, if I could get some nice cannelloni after tournament, that is the top, the topping. The tournament that I would just
Love
make
it.
it perfect.
I'm a steak man after tournaments. I like a big fatty steak. Yeah. And I'll get like 3 sides. I'll really treat myself after an event because I usually.
What if you go to a place that has like family sides? Do you still get 3 sides if it's like a family style table side?
So one of my traditions, one of the traditions in Australia is that a lot of us have these superstitions, and one of them is if you are undefeated day one, you have to have 2 mains at dinner after day one. On the dinner after day one, you have to double main. We call it doing a double manie. And so if you get into burgers, you got to eat 2 burgers. You got to put both down, 2 burgers and the fries.
Sign me up.
You got a salad. You got to put it away.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then you'll be fully powered for the next day, and you'll just go undefeated. Jerry Marigold Martino has won 3 CanCons off this premise. And he, after day one, he was undefeated, double mained, and he goes undefeated.
Those
day 2.
superstitions,
and then double mained,
obviously
undefeated day 3.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So yeah, but steak is my premium after.
We'll do this Vegas going after whatever we do.
Yes, please.
We're doing
it, baby.
All right. Okay, here we go. Will we ever see a paint as influential as Devlin Mudd? I don't think you spelled it right.
Yours, Adam?
I put this in. Yeah, I don't think I spelled it.
As transformational as Devlin Mudd is.
As transformational.
I went from thinking as like a 12-year-old boy, I went to thinking I can never make something look good with a paintbrush to holy crap, this is the best thing ever, Devlin Mudd, yay.
Am I a painter? Did I just paint something?
Can I do this? For
those of you that don't know, that's basically Agrax Earthshade now.
It was the first wash.
It was
like essentially the first wash. Yeah.
The first, and the way it was formulated, like painters, just say painters, great painters, were making their own washes for years. Like, oh, well, you just gotta make a glaze. You gotta glaze. You gotta do that. Like, well, okay, Mr. Wizard, how does one get this? To whatever it is. And then Devlin Mudd came out and was like, oh, this is already formulated to do exactly what I want it to do, and it makes me feel prouder of what I have in my hand. And I don't know that we'll see a paint like that ever again.
I actually thought we were going to have a paint like that when contrast paints came out. I thought that's what they were going to be.
Dude,
they're still good. Don't get me wrong, but not
contrast
quite
is up there. Contrast, so it has to be used. I mean, you've got to figure out it worked for you kind of thing.
Exactly.
But like the washes, and look, Agrax Earthshade and Nolan Oil or all that stuff is still out there, and it still does the exact same thing. Yeah, it's hard to capture that moment, that feeling of when you've used it on a miniature for the first time and thought, man.
I learned how to layer and dry brush because Devlin Mudd existed. Because I Devlin Mudded a thing and then I had a reason to dry brush, I had a reason to highlight, I had a reason to layer on top of something. And as a 12-year-old, I never had any reason to learn those things if I didn't learn what Devlin Mudd was.
I love it. Like this Tabasco of the paint world is that. Oh, sorry, we're out of time. Actually, I love what it does, and I love what it did for painters. Anyway, on the next thing. Okay, here's the interesting one. What was the #1 Billboard song in 2011?
This is from Paul, and he just was just like, how am I going to mess with these guys today?
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. What was the #1? Like Billboard, I guess Billboard charts. If that's
what's Billboard? Like that's the charts.
Yeah, we're not no looking, no.
Okay, I'm looking away from my screen, so I have hands up, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
So okay, here we go. Adam, what do you think?
See, I don't know the artists.
I'm trying to think.
I know the songs more than I know the artists.
2011,
in the Hall of Fame. What was that song in the Hall of Fame?
There's
something in the Hall of Fame. This is how this is always going to go, Paul. I hope you knew.
This is the whole 2 minutes of us just kind of remembering stuff.
So there was who was big
production's offering to help, but we want no help.
No help. Okay,
Like
no help.
Beyonce, Adele. Like
Beyonce
it
is a
could
good
have
choice.
been.
Adele's actually probably a great choice, but you got to pick one. What's your answer?
I'll go Beyonce.
Okay, we'll go
Something
artist.
from
We'll just say
Beyonce.
artist.
So we're going to do artist?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do Adele then.
Adele. Okay, I'm going Eminem. That's my guess.
Eminem? Oh, shit.
Okay,
Uh,
that's a good.
okay,
That's all good
production's going to
picks.
give us the answer.
Oh,
Adele.
I threw it out there. That was my.
That was 100% Adam's guess. I had no idea.
It apparently is rolling in.
I flipped a coin and it came up
I
incorrect.
haven't even listened to the radio. That's why I thought this would just be a great one. And I actually love where we, before we had computers in our pockets at all times, just that debate you could have, like who was the number one home run pitcher or whatever in 1973.
Yeah,
you could actually have a debate with another individual about that, and then we almost accomplished that here. So thanks for giving me that Devil in Mud magic back for just a couple of
Love
seconds. Well, that's the end of our show. That's the end of the Fuego Rapido. That is the end of our rundown of those super 100+ event tournaments going on over the weekend. If you are going to those tournaments, best of luck to you. If you listened to us while we were talking about it, thank you for listening. If you tuned in live and contributed to the chat, that means a whole lot. It helps, really keep us going, keep it exciting while we are doing this. It's been exciting to run down. I've been happy to be here.
And yeah.
I'm
Me
so
too.
excited.
This is the biggest episode we've ever done. We've covered more events, more players, more factions than we've ever covered before. And yeah, tune in on the weekend and jump in on the coverage, guys. Love to see you there. Either join Dusty on his side of things, Stutter Snotling, or come over and join in on the SoCal fun.
We will be here every week. This is called the Thursday show because we record it. We do it live on Thursday. If you're listening after the fact, remember you can come and join us here while we do it live, or we certainly appreciate you, like I said, listening after the fact. Please do not forget to leave us some 5-star reviews. Let us know what you like. Hit us up on any of the social medias and tell us if you're going to an event or how you did an event, or some of that Army List device we were talking about. It has been an absolute pleasure. Adam, Dustin, we'll see y'all next week.
Love your work, gents. Take care.
Good night, everybody.